So let's work this out now. pH, this is low because the normal value is 7.35 to 7.45. CO2 is high, normal value is 35 to 45. Bicarb is high, normal value is 22 to 26. PaO2 is low, normal value is 80 to 100. So is this a metabolic or a respiratory issue? Remember, if it is a metabolic issue, the bicarb and the pH would be going in the same direction. In this case, the bicarb and the pH are not going in the same direction, so we know it's not metabolic. If it is a respiratory issue, the pH and the CO2 will be going in opposite direction. In this case, the pH and the CO2, they're going in opposite direction. So here we confirm that this is a respiratory issue. So now we need to figure out whether or not we're dealing with an acidotic or a alkalotic issue. In this case, the pH is at 7.16, which means it is below 7.35. Anything below 7.35 is acidotic. Anything above 7.45 is alkalosis. So we have confirmed that we are dealing with an acidotic issue. Another important thing we must determine is if there is compensation or not. To figure this, we need to look at the bicarb. The bicarb is abnormal at this time. Remember that when it comes on to a respiratory issue, we are going to be focusing on bicarb. The renal system is what compensates for respiratory deficit. So we are not going to be looking at CO2 in this case to determine compensation. We are focusing on bicarb. The bicarb is increased, which means we are having compensation. Are we having full compensation or partial compensation? We are having partial compensation. How do we know this? Because the pH is not normal. The pH is not normal. So even though we are seeing an increase in the bicarb, the fact remains the pH is not normal. So when the pH is not normal, but we are seeing abnormal values in the bicarb levels, we know that we are getting partial compensation. In order to be considered fully compensated, we would have to have a normal pH. In this case, we don't. However, we have abnormal bicarb values. The patient is also hypoxic. So the answer to this question will be respiratory acidosis with hypoxia and partial compensation. Let me know if you are getting these correct too.